Howdy everybody, Ross with Franklin County Forage. I want to thank you for clicking on this video to watch. This video is looking at a little bit of the hay fields that we planted last year on my dad's ground, discussing hay handling. Somebody come today to get the last of my second cutting alfalfa orchard grass mix from last year. At the beginning of this clip, I'm showing you alfalfa field at the house after I've sprayed the Malathion on it. So this is the results of that. Hope you guys enjoy. Thanks. Looking at the alfalfa, and you can see, I mean, spraying, getting rid of the weevils doesn't take away what the damage that's been done. However, if you look, you'll start to see new leaves growing out, and those new leaves will not be eaten on. And that Malathion I used pretty well took care of them. And sometimes what I'll do, I don't have a bug net, but I'll just take my hat and sweep through like that, and there's nothing but some leaves and some stuff in there, but no bugs. You know, if you just find one or two little ones, you're probably not too bad. I'm close enough to cutting that I'm not going to spray it again. However, you might find that there's really no difference, or maybe they've gotten worse. That means your spray has not worked. Luckily, this spray has worked this time. You do not want to spray too early. Now, I know that sounds weird, but you can spray too early. What happens is you spray early, you kill the ones that are out there, but there's a lot that haven't hatched, and you don't kill the ones that haven't hatched. So then you see like another wave of them come in. So the amount of damage that's on my alfalfa, that's typically where I spray at. You don't want to just let it go. But if you spray too early, it's not going to do any good. So I learned my lesson the hard way. Hopefully you can learn yours right here. All right. Over at Dad's, got a lady coming to get a small quantity of square bales. I'm just moving the tractor out of the way so she can back the truck in here. And while I'm waiting on her, we'll go check out this field up front here that Dad planted last year. I think it looks really good. I think you guys are gonna like it. Let's look at this hay here right quick. This is what I'm considering higher quality stuff. This is, let me flip it around here. I'm sure the video probably doesn't do it complete justice, but this is second cutting, very young, not real mature orchard grass and alfalfa, and you can just see the color there is, and if you guys could smell it, that would tell the story. Let's go out here and look at this field real quick. I decided this four-wheeler probably needs to be run a little bit, you know. It was run yesterday, but it needs some more time on it. And there's no key. How do you like me now? Well, so much for that. No key. Mom and Dad are at the hospital today, so I'm sure Dad thought, well, I don't want anybody stealing the four-wheeler, so I'll just take the keys since I'm not going to be around. So we'll just walk out here. It's better for me anyways. The wind. I feel like I live in the plains or something. Whew, just about to blow my hat off, boys and girls. No four-wheeler. Got to jog, so it don't take forever. Then I jump the electric fence. This other one here, I'm not going to jump. It's a 3-strand. I could climb through, but if you touch, you definitely know it. So I'm not going to climb through. I'm going to go around because I don't feel like getting a shock. There she blows. Literally blowing in the wind. All right, I'm going to walk out here a little ways. Sorry for the wind, guys. I'm going to walk over here to this ridge so you guys can really get the full appreciation of the wind blowing right now. Goodness gracious. So you can actually see where some deer have been out here eating the tops of the clover. So this field was planted, probably we're seeing right here is ryegrass. Ryegrass has a really waxy looking, it makes it look really shiny when the sun shines on it. And then I know there's some orchard grass in there too. But this field is going to make some really good hay. It's going to make a bunch of it. It's thick. There are some winter annuals in it still. You see some yellow here and there, but there's so much good hay that there you're not even going to see that in a bale. So I am going to try to walk up to this ridge here so we can just kind of see the whole thing. Also, it is roughly knee height on me, so that's pretty good. This is first year. It was just planted in the fall, but he did get it. Literally, the timing on it probably could not have been any better. It's actually starting to lodge right here. This is probably where he went through with the fertilizer buggy. But couldn't have timed it any better. He planted this, and then it came a rain, and that's where, if you remember, if you went back to my videos where we were planting, he planted, got the rain, and then I got the drill, and the rain postponed me planting. So I was actually not able to get that rain on mine. I had to wait for it to dry up. I planted. It was like a month or so before I got a rain. So mine is like a month behind this, so it doesn't look near this good. Okay, so this is ryegrass. Pretty well all this is ryegrass. But this is what a ryegrass head looks like. And if you look, you'll see that the seeds are opposing each other, or I don't remember what they call it, but when you have a seed on one side, it'll come down before you have a seed on the other side. So they won't be right across from each other. They're kind of staggered. See that? So that's what ryegrass seed head looks like. It's actually taller out here than it is up there, and it looks usually like when you first walk up to the edge is like the best. But this out here is really good. This whole field's really good. I'm sure it's shorter over by the woods, but that's to be expected. Here we are on the top of the world. Not really, just the top of this field. This is the field. It's not real big. In fact, it's not big at all. It's 8 acres right here. Then if you look back behind me, down here, you see some yellow. That's that bottom field, and it stays pretty wet. Dad did not actually get to put fertilizer on that this spring because it was so wet. You could probably put it on there now, but you may wait till after we cut it the first time, get rid of those weeds, and then fertilize it so that grass can spring back up. So right down here, basically all this, all the way across there, this right here is where that waterway I redid with the dozer. Took out the trees along there, took out trees right down here, and took out some trees down here as well. And then of course trees out there on the other side of that field there. Did this whole fence row the year before. There was a fence row right here where that cedar tree is. From there all the way to those woods was a big tree line. We took that out the year before. You guys didn't get to see that. I wish I was really doing more YouTube videos and stuff when we started this whole process, because the transformation is just incredible. We went from pastures that were just covered in sage grass. Some people call it broom sage. So we rejuvenated all the pastures. Dad is now doing some rotational grazing. We also built the watering pond, put the waterers in. Let's see, what else did we do? We did some clearing. We cleared about 5 or 6 acres back in the back that was growed up. Talk about a transformation. This bottom field was grown up because it just stays so wet. So quite the transformation. I wish I would have had my drone then, fly over everything and then fly over it at the end of each step. We also put the winter feeding station in, put a water up here as well. Lots of things, lots of improvements here. It's just incredible. It's hard to appreciate it when you didn't get to see what it was like before. But like this field here, it's what I love is when you plant a field, it goes from just soil. You may call it dirt, we call it soil, whatever you want to call it. From just soil to a lush green crop like this, it is just gives you a really good feeling that you're taking care of the land properly, and you're going to harvest something off of it. You've made something out of those little bitty seeds that you put in the ground months or years ago, and hopefully this field will continue to produce like this for years, 3, 4, 5 years, hopefully. Walked how much I've tracked it down, which it'll stand back up a little bit. Also, news for this year is, talked to Dad a little bit about it, and he thinks he'd like to square bale more this year than round bale. And typically we always round bale what we're going to feed our calves, cows, square bale what we're selling. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to square bale everything we possibly can and everything we have room for to store. And so we'll still round bale some, but then we're going to sell some even more square bales, hopefully, and we'll make more off of that than what we would have in round bales. And what we're going to do is we're just going to buy round bales that we need. So this whole field here is going to be square baled. That's the plan, at least, unless something happens. He's also got another couple fields in the back we're going to square bale. Got another field down the road we're going to square bale. He typically only square bales about 500 bales a year. So this year we're going to have a big increase on that number here. And what we'll probably end up doing is I'll bring my baler over here and we'll just get both balers running so we can knock it out. And if the stacker wagon actually works out and my squeeze works out, we'll be handling everything mechanically. So that's pretty exciting. Of course, that may not all work out like we have planned, but we'll see. So my point in telling you that is, the field I just walked through, whenever I go to do the video on this field here, we're going to do another, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, yield guesstimate. We're going to have a little yield contest, and we're going to, I believe that's about 8 acres, but I'll give an update on that anyways. But we're going to have a yield contest, only this time I've got enough subscribers now, and if we can hit a goal of 1,000 subscribers, hopefully those two things will coincide. The yield for this here and 1,000 subscriber mark, I'm going to come up with something to give away to the winner. Okay, and I haven't decided what that's going to be. I have some things to hash out, but I'm pretty excited for this year. Last year I experienced a lot of growth in the channel that I didn't really expect. But last year was really the first year that I've really made videos. I've made other videos before, but they were really crappy. Not saying that they're good now, but they're at least better. So stay tuned. I'm going to give you an update on the yield contest that's coming up. We're going to do that on this field here. And then we're also going to have a giveaway. I'd like that to coincide with 1,000 subscribers. We don't have to, I'm not saying if we don't hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm not giving anything away. If I'm at least moving forward, the yield contest is going to have a winner, and I'm going to give something away. Haven't decided what that is. I'll let you guys know when we actually start it. So, still waiting on this lady to come get her hay. Sometimes it's just kind of a hurry up and wait game. That's where we're at right now. Also, really quick, while we're waiting, I thought I would just show you guys kind of what I'm dealing with here. There she is. The 1032 New Holland stack liner. We call them stack wagons. You can call them stackers. You can call them whatever you want to call them. Giant accumulator thingamabobbers. They're not really an accumulator because they don't pull behind the baler. But I actually am more or less going to be using this kind of as an accumulator. So one of the big drawbacks to a New Holland stack wagon is if you have to transport your hay any distance from field to the storage facility, it really slows you down because you're pulling it with a tractor. You got to road it. You're only taking, on this one here, 70 bales at a time. Some of you take 105. So, also, I actually haul things from my house over here to mom and dad's to store, and that's about a 30-mile trip. Maybe not quite, 25 to 30 miles. So, obviously that doesn't make sense. That's why I have not used this. Now, my plan is, with my squeeze, assuming the squeeze works, I've built it to be able to handle one of these stacks. Now, not a whole stack, because I don't have anything big enough to pick up a whole stack. A whole stack would potentially weigh 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. And as far as it sticks out, I just don't have anything that can handle that. Maybe one day we will. But my goal with the squeeze, you can get a grapple to handle layers. My goal with the squeeze is that I can pick a stack in 2 picks. So the first one would be 3 or 4 layers, and the second one would be 3 or 4, whichever, the opposite of the first one. So if that works, what I'm gonna do is I'll have a staging area at the edge of the field where pick up a stack, take it to the edge of the field, dump it off, and get that all done. And then while I'm doing that, someone else can be loading the stacks with a squeeze onto a trailer, or I'll do that whenever I get done stacking them. That's my plan. Obviously right here, as close as this is, the field's just right out there. We may not even do that. We may just stack these right in the barn here. The other thing is, a lot of my barns are not tall enough. We have older barns. This one here kind of is, except for it's rounded, so you can't get right close to the edge. So my other goal with that is that allows me to be able to stack things from this stacker in a barn that is not tall enough for the stacker to get in. So I can take the skid steer, pick up 1 or 2 or 3 layers, stack it in. That the squeeze also will allow me to stack higher than I can with a grapple, because my skid steer can only lift approximately 10 feet. So I could only stack a max of 10 feet, probably a little bit less than that. With a squeeze, since I can hopefully pick up 2, 3, maybe even 4 layers, I can stack 2 to 3 layers higher than I could with a grapple, because I'll have those stacks above where I'm actually reaching. So that's the reasons why I decided to go with a squeeze. They don't actually offer a squeeze for what I'm wanting. So I'm hoping there's not a huge reason why they don't offer that, and that just somebody tried it and didn't work. We're going to find out. I know they use squeezes on the 3-tie bales. They use squeezes on big square bales. I know that's completely different than a small square bale, but since we're on edge, I really think a squeeze will work. It'll just be a matter of how much force I can put on the bales and how many layers above that first row I can stack up before those two things don't equal out, where I just lose the bottom of the stack. So we're going to test that out. An update on the squeeze. It's progressing. I've got the main frame pretty well finished. Got my slide frames pretty well finished. I did do a test on one slide frame. It does slide in and out just like I hoped it would. Once I get the other slide frame finished up, I'll just be putting the arms on, what I'm calling the arms. And once that's done, I'll be testing it. So, I mean, I'm within a day or 2, if I can get it done, of actually doing some testing. And once that's done, I've just got a few things on this thing here. I'm not going to wait till it's done, but just wait before I have a chance. A few things on this here I want to do. I want to replace the plywood up here, which, yeah, I know that's probably going to be worth, the plywood's going to cost more than this thing's worth, but, you know, it is what it is. So anyways, I just want to give you guys an update. I know I've talked about some things and I haven't really showed you anything, and it's coming, I promise. I'm just not doing a whole series on building these things because there's a lot of other stuff going on. So what I'm going to do is, once it's built, I'm going to do some testing. I'll let you guys see the final product. I'll go through what I did and why I did what I did and how it works, and include you on some of the testing and things. So come along for the ride. Stay tuned. We got some stuff coming up. I know I've been pretty lax here lately with everything going on, but I'm still here, still making videos, and my hay lady just showed up, so perfect timing. All right, one more happy customer. That's it for today, guys. thanks for tuning in. I know this is probably kind of a boring video. Oh yeah! All right, guys. Turn the key off. That wouldn't be good. Have to load her down. Load her down. All right, guys. That is all she wrote. I'm gonna hit the road, and hopefully this evening I'll be working on that squeeze. Catch you guys on the flip side. As always, guys, God bless you. God bless America. Franklin County Forage out.